welcome back to Overanalyzing Longsword. Today we have an exchange that I'm looking at by request. It's from Swordplay Serbia 2024, and it's a first round elimination match between Angel Chernaev and Kalyan Siriski. Angel is a veteran practitioner, currently rated 1684, and Kalyan is new to the sport, having first competed a little bit over a year ago, and he's currently rated 1044. So there's a clear skill difference and experience difference going on between these two fencers. Both are from Bulgaria, and Angel's actually Kalyan's coach, which means they're both very familiar with how each other fences. Angel will also be analyzing this entire match on his channel, so please check that out. And I am eager to see the similarities and differences with what we come up with in our respective analyses. So this exchange can we can kind of separate it into two parts. There's the initial section and the initial action, and then a back and forth volley. So first I'll talk about the initial action. Both fencers approach in a right foot forward, point forward position. They're both right-handed. Left takes the initiative on the initial action and stabs forward. So there's a couple reasons that left might have attacked here. This is the second to last exchange in the match, and Angel is currently ahead 11-4. So he may have felt some pressure to go in and take the initiative to attack. And Angel also was attacking most of the time earlier in this match, so Kalyan may have felt that uh, taking the initiative and going first may have been better off. But whatever the reason, in my opinion, there was no realistic chance for this thrust to land. And the reason is that he initiated the thrust. He went straight in when Angel had a stronger position. So usually, what we want to do when you're crossed like this, and you want to go for a stab, you really have two main ways of realistically accomplishing it. So the first way is to get the weakness, the weak part of their sword, which is like near the tip, onto the strength or the strong part of your sword, which is probably something that your coach has told you many times. So one main way that people often do that is through the lift and drop. So how that works is you lift the point up, and this all happens very quickly. So you lift the point up, and what that does is it makes it so the only part of the sword that's available for your opponent to make contact with is the strong, since the weakness is all the way up here. And then you drop the point in to attack, and as you drop the point, you rise with these arms, right? So pull the point up to get their sword on this part, and then rise as you drop in order to keep their tip on the strong of your sword, right? So that's the first way. The second way that you can attack from this position is by disengaging around. So then you kind of cancel out your opponent's strong position and yeah, try to attack on the other side. So here we don't see either of those things happen. He just attacks straight in when Angel has a strong position, and Angel predictably parries this, and he parries by pushing his putting his point to his left side, and what that does is it just allows his opponent's sword to slide safely into his crossguard. From that position, it's you can't really go to this side because of how the swords are positioned. So he stays on the same side of the sword and does a low Zverhau to the hands. There's a couple other options from that, but a Zverhau, a same side Zverhau is as good as any, and it has been successful for him earlier in this match. So, why miss with success? Just do it. Just do it. So, in my opinion, with the benefit of replay and slow motion, I think this does hit the hands, but the judges didn't call it for whatever reason. Either they didn't see it or they thought it was no quality. But either way, the exchange continues. So past this point, we're beyond the realm of what could really be pre-planned, and we're moving on to kind of full improvisation. We get a long volley, and I'm not going to discuss every parry in depth, but I think there are some key moments. So the next offensive action here comes from Kalian, and he just drops his sword straight on Angel after chasing the spare, trying to parry. So he's trying to parry, and then he just drops the sword straight down. So Angel catches this on his sword without really moving. Kellyan kind of just goes straight into it. And you can say that he got lucky here because Kellyan goes straight into his sword, but it's not really luck because he positioned himself in a way that getting lucky is a lot more likely by covering the top of his head as he went for his fair how. So, you know, if you ever notice that some people get lucky more often than others, it's because it's positioning yourself in a way that, you're more likely to get lucky. So then after that, there's a little hang parry exchange, which I'm not going to analyze too much. And the next key moment comes at this point where I've paused it. So after that last little right side parry from Angel. So now there's a little separation. Okay. And Killian comes in with a straight cut. And it's very common to see people re-engage like this directly after a separation. And in my opinion, for most beginners, I think it's generally not a good idea to do so. It is possible to find the perfect timing while your opponent's still regrouping and catch them off guard with an attack, which you can see an example of in my video with Vili and Antek. If you remember when they separate, Antek finds the perfect opportunity to come in with a stab while Vili is kind of recovering and on the edge of the court. But most of the time, especially if your HEMA rating is under like 1500, that it's probably a better idea just to separate. So the reason being, because if you go right in, most of the time you'll end up in a situation where your opponent is ready and you're not. And that's exactly what here. So that's exactly what happens here. So Killian attacks and basically goes straight into Angel's Blade, who's ready with that parry. You can see he's in a very stable stance and just catches the blade and does the same side sphere again and drives the thrust home. So you can see the thrust catches a little bit and then slides off. So the judges saw it and awarded it for him. So overall, this was a very interesting exchange. Lots of fun to watch. Thanks again to Angel for the request, and go watch the breakdown on his channel as well. And if you have a request, let me know, and I'll think about maybe analyzing it. Bye.